The merchant module is our last module in this orientation. To access the merchant module, you would click on the merchant icon up on the top, and then you'd see a submenu showing a new set of icons on the top right. We have our view orders, shipping setup, site setup, merchant setup, message setup, gift card promo codes, and site ads. Let's jump into our view orders. This first screen shows us all of the approved orders we've ever had. There are a number of links across the top here, as you see: approved orders, declined orders, error orders, processed orders, shipped orders, and all orders. The approved orders is the one we're looking at. Declined orders shows us the declined, where the purchase attempts that were declined. Errors shows us the ones that generated some kind of an error when trying to contact authorize.net. The process order screens will show the orders that have not yet been processed. The shipped orders are the ones that you've tagged as shipped, and then the link for all orders will show all of the orders ever captured in the system. The Junior e-commerce system has a built-in shopping cart as well as a built-in tie-in to authorize.net, which is why we so prominently show the authorize.net seal and logo up here at the top. These different status levels, approved, declined, error, processed, and shipped, those are the status levels that authorize.net will actually assign. Every order that comes into the system, while the authorize.net tie-in is turned off, will be tagged as an order that needs to be processed. Typically, that is something you would have to process in your store, or you could click the button to process it manually through authorize.net. If you have the automatic authorize.net transaction process turned on, then when an order is approved, it will show up under approved orders. If an order is declined, it will automatically show up under declined orders. If the order has an error, and an error can be a bank error, could be a problem with the credit card, or it could simply be that address verification is not functioning at that time, and then the order will show up in the errors screen. Let's take a quick look at one of these orders. Let's click on our first order number here, and we see the order information listed up here at the top. This is a quick view for us so that we can see the invoice number, the date and time of the transaction, the details of the order, and then we can see the customer's information here. We can also see the customer's shipping information, and if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the tax total, the non-taxable total, the tax collected, the shipping cost, the grand total, the IP address when the order was placed, the original order time, and when the shopping cart was processed. There's also a convenient link down here to jump over to the customer record to see more details about this customer. Under the payment status, we have, this is from the authorize.net status. We also have a back office status of approved. We have our payment date, our authorization number, transaction ID, and address verification status response codes. If there's a gift message associated, that gift message will show up down here on this screen. Each one of these screens has additional details or additional methods that you can edit them. You see there are, each one of these squares has a title. This says billing information. Over here, this one says shipping information. And there's a link next to it. If we want to update the billing information, we would click on the link for update billing, and it would bring us to our update billing screen. This is going to become important because if there is ever a problem with a credit card and you need to go in here and adjust it, you would go in and update the billing information before attempting to process the order again. For the shipping information, you can go in and update the shipping. On this screen, you can adjust any of the ship to fields, as well as you can put in the actual ship cost, the tracking number, the shipping date, and any other comments that you need to record regarding the shipping information. We're going to scroll down a little bit, And we can also go in and we can update our charges and miscellaneous information if there's any details here or changes to the financial information that you need to make. Underneath the payment status, if we click on Update Payment Info, this screen shows us our current status for payment processing. We can choose to move this order from one of the screens to the next by simply dropping this down and changing the approved status to either error, process declined, or approved. Then we can also change the back office status, and this is where you would mark something as shipped. You would say, if this order has been processed and is ready to be shipped out, you can mark it as shipped, and then as it says here, mark shipped and send thank you email. Once you click the save button, this order will be marked as shipped and the thank you email would automatically be triggered. The thank you email would contain the tracking information and the shipping information that you've entered on the shipping screen. If your junior e-commerce system is not automatically tied into authorized.net for purchases, you will see an extra button appearing right in this location that would allow you to process this order through authorized.net yourself. Otherwise, you would be simply downloading the information that you see in the billing area to process the credit card yourself in your store. For orders that have a gift message, the message will show up on this bottom screen here. If you click the Update Gift Message link, this will show you a screen with the gift message in case you need to retype it or change it. There are two other links on this screen that are here for your convenience. The first one shows Print Customer Invoice, and the other one says Print Packing List. If you don't have the ability to print an invoice from your own point of sale system or your own cash register system in your store, you can click the Print Customer Invoice, and this will bring you up a clean, printable page that you can use as your actual invoice. You would set your logo up on the top here. Now this one shows a logo with a blue background, but typically you would create a clean logo with a white background to include here. This shows the billing information, who it's being billed to, who it's being shipped to, and where it's being shipped from. All of this information gets pulled into this page from various places. You have your billing contact information, your ship to contact information, and your invoice date and invoice number up on the top. Each item that's included in the invoice will be shown with an individual line item with their individual SKU, the quantity, and the price. And then down here you'll have your subtotal, the tax, and shipping total, as well as any message that you want to include here. If you want to print a packing list, and typically the packing list will be included with the individual item. The invoice, we recommend sending that under separate cover since that shows the prices of the items. When you include a packing list with your item, you sometimes don't want to include the price of the item that is in the box, especially if this is being sent out as a gift to someone. I'm going to go back up to the click on the View Orders icon to redisplay all of my orders. Down at the bottom, if I scroll down, you will see that for each individual screen, I can see a running total of my sales. So I have had, on this demonstration site, I have an approved total of $44,000 worth of sales. Tax that I've collected is $352.99, for my grand total of $45,395. Let's go into the shipping setup. The e-commerce system does have the ability to preset shippers. The easiest way to do this is to have shipping types set up as with their individual shipping costs. In this particular case, we have FedEx 2-day and FedEx next day. Clicking on those names, we can see we have different options for either adding markups, percentages, if we're going to be doing shipping according to zip code distances or not zip code distances. if the shipping type is going to be physical or electronic. In some cases, if you have electronic download, you would select electronic as the shipping method, in which case it's probably more of a handling fee, not necessarily a shipping fee. You also have the ability to set your shipping depending on your type of buyer. Your wholesale buyers perhaps do not have shipping, or you can set different shipping prices for your retail or your wholesale buyers. You also have the ability to change your shipping method either to measure by weight or measure by price. Depending on how you have that set up, those will dictate what type of options you need to include for the individual products. Many times customers do not include weight information with their product information. So if you are going to be using by weight, then you have to make sure to include weight information into your individual product records. Most of the time, things are shipped out strictly by price. This way, insurance can be adjusted and calculated based on prices. You click the cancel link to get back to my previous screen. And I'm going to go in now and display my shipping costs. For FedEx 2-Day, I only have a single price in here. It says up to $500 and the price is $0. In many websites that we've worked on, up to $500 would have a $15 cost, and then you'd add a new entry to say prices up to, let's say, $10,000, and that would be a cost of $0. Then at the checkout screen, the system would know that if the total price of the shopping cart is less than $500, then the cost of the shipping is going to be $15. If it's over $500, then the cost of the shipping would be $0. The optional shipping for next day shows up to $500 is $24.25, and then up to $30,000 is shipping is $0. Moving on to our state setup, this is where we would indicate our sales taxes. Depending on which state you're in, as well as which Canadian province, because Canadian provinces are also automatically listed in here, you can set your individual sales tax. So for New York State, for this demo, if I click on New York, it shows me that I can change the name of the state, change my abbreviation, my ranking, and my tax amount. You can certainly add in additional provinces or areas. That is done by simply clicking on New State/Province. Now, hidden deeper within the system, if you look at this link up here, it says click here to edit taxes according to zip codes. In certain states, in certain areas, you are required to collect sales tax based on local taxes, and many times those are based on zip code. If you click on this link, you are brought to the tax table for the state of California. We have automatically populated this and made it a default part of the Junior system so that you have an idea and a guideline as to how to go ahead and change these settings on your own or add them. This is an older tax table. It was added into the system a number of years ago, so you would have to register with the California Tax Authority and get the latest tax table and then go in here and modify it on your own. But let's take a look at one of these things. So on this first one, it says for the zip code 90620 through 90633, if we click inside of that, we can see what our tax rate would be. And in this particular case, it's set as blank. But there are other ones. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and we can see that for the zip code of 95312, it has a tax of 7.25. The way this is designed is the user, when they put in their shipping address, the system will detect if their zip code lies between this chosen range, and if it does, then this tax rate will be applied. Please note that this is going to be a total tax for that zip code, so you'd have to include the state tax as well as the local tax. And this can be changed and added to for any tax region which requires a zip code based tax. Let's dive now into the merchant setup screen. That's simply clicking on this icon up on the top that says merchant setup. This screen here has many different features which your programmer or customer support rep would have to set up for you. You can also come in here and change some of these options on your own. Depending on how you are tying into Authorize.net, you may or may not need some of these settings. For example, the public entry URL and the secure URL are typically settings that we don't use when setting up a standard connection to Authorize.net. We also have choice here to indicate whether our shipping is going to be taxable or not, our shipping measurement, our current currency that we're using. Down here we see our credit card choices. And these are the ones that are built into Authorize.net. By checking off one of these options, if you have that activated in your account, you would be able to use it to make a purchase through your shopping cart. There are currently, in the Junior version 4, 2 types of methods to capture credit cards and process them. One is by either charging automatically through Authorize.net Direct Connect, or simply by saving the credit card for your manual review and then to click the Authorize.net button at a later time. From this screen, you can also turn on Authorize.net test mode. This saves you the trouble of having to log into your Authorize.net account directly and turning on or off your test mode. This allows you to flip back and forth between test mode so that you can test credit card numbers or other changes you're making to your site without actually charging your own credit card. These fields here for the Authorize.net API login ID and the API transaction key, these are the 2 fields that are necessary to tie the Junior system into Authorize.net. Simply filling these 2 fields out will create the direct connection that is necessary to process your credit cards. The credit card merchant ID comes from your Authorize.net merchant account. If you'd like to turn on address verification and send the address information to Authorize.net, then you have to have one of these radio options selected here, yes or no. By default, it is always set to yes, which is always our recommendation. We have the different methods of capturing. Typically you would authorize and capture your payments, but you also have the ability to set authorization only, or pre-authorize, void, or to give a credit to someone. And then down here, by choosing one of these features here, this is how the transaction will be processed. If it's authorize and capture, then it will authorize the payment amount as well as capture the payment. If it's authorize only, then it would only authorize to make sure there is room on the credit card. Same with pre-authorize. These other settings down here for the out-of-band thank you page, Authorize.net host, Authorize.net landing page, and thank you page are more detailed features that Authorize.net allows, and your programmer would have to special set them up for you. But most of the time, they go unused in the Junior system. Let's take a look at now the message setup. This is a very in-depth screen that controls all of the messages that your customers will see during the checkout process, as well as on the invoice printout screens, the packing list printout screens, the email messages they receive once they've completed an order, the screen messages they see once they've placed an order, and the shipping messages that they will receive when you mark something as shipped and send an email. Every single one of the items on this screen that is shown with a dot next to it can be edited and turned on or off. The email addresses listed on the side are the addresses that you would be sending the emails from or to, depending on the message that it is associated with. And typically, an email address shown on the right is associated with the messages that are shown on the left. If we click on this first one here, thank you for your purchase email, this is sent to a customer immediately after they click the Place Your Order button. So let's click this, and you will see the message that they will see on the screen. As it says here, this text will appear above the purchase receipt information. Thank you for your purchase from Demo Jewelry Company. We know you will enjoy your diamond jewelry. And then this text down here will show up below the message. In between, there is a standardized message and receipt that prints out through the Junior system. But above and below that standardized message, you have the ability to customize it. Let's click the return. When a customer makes a purchase through the system, they do get an email that notifies them that they've had a customer account created. And again, this is the header and the footer of that email that would be sent to the customer. Once you've processed an order and you're going to be shipping it out, when you mark an order as shipped, as I showed you on a previous screen, then this customer order shipped email will be sent out. This, again, will have the header information above the standardized email and the footer information below it. You see this checkbox up here? It says, check this box to activate this email. If unchecked, this email will not be sent. If you uncheck this option here, the email which notifies the customer that their order has been shipped will not be triggered. It will not be sent. The next set down is the on-screen messages that the customers see. These are the messages that the customer sees when they are placing the order, and this is what they will see in their web browser. If their order is declined, this is the message that they will see. If the order is successful, then they will get this thank you message here. As the website owner, you're going to receive a purchase notification when an order is placed. And in this screen for retailer purchase notification, you can put any directions for yourself, perhaps a reminder as to how to log into the system or where to go. This example simply says this purchase was just made. Another email with a credit card approval should be on its way. And then down here it says log into the stand if you need more information. And many times we set this up so that it says log into the stand and go into view orders and click the most recent order. There are multiple emails that do get sent out through the system. We have the email that gets sent to the website owner when an order is placed. We have an email that can go to the accounting department so that the financial information can be processed. And we have another email that can be triggered and sent to the fulfillment company or the warehouse or the fulfillment department. Each one of these can be set to send or turned off if you don't need it. If you are a single person running the website, then perhaps just a single email is all you need. If you have multiple people in multiple departments, then perhaps you would want to have all 4 of these emails turned on. The accounting email simply says this purchase was just authorized. If you did not have the direct authorized.net tie-in, perhaps you'd have a reminder in here that the accounting person does need to log into the system, download the credit card information, and then process it in the store. The fulfillment email will be sent out to the warehouse person or whoever it is that would be picking the items off the shelf or out of a bin, or perhaps even the jeweler who needs to custom make this piece. You put whatever message that you need to in here. This will show up above the standardized junior email that gets sent, and then this footer will show up below the standardized portion of the email. This area down here that does not have email addresses next to it, these are screen-related controls for the e-commerce system. This first one, for the printout header, is where we would go to adjust the logo that we want to show up on our packing list and our printable invoice. The packing slip printout message, these are currently blank in this demo, but you can use these to put additional messages on your packing list. For example, upcoming events, sales, how to get in touch with you, refund information, return information, or what to do in case an item is damaged when you receive it. You also have the ability here to control your invoice printout messages the same way. We did see a little while ago where it says thank you for shopping at Demo Jewelry Company, but there are additional messages you can put there. Again, you can put return information, warranty information, or what to do in case of damaged goods upon arrival. You can put that in this box here. The 6 screens shown below indicate the checkout process, login page, checkout process, billing information page, checkout process, shipping information page, and so on. Each one of these messages are used to display header and footer information on each one of those checkout pages. There are 6 steps through the checkout process, and you have the ability to control the messages that appear above and below the pre-programmed standardized screens that Junior e-commerce system shows you. Typically, this information is going to be a message of when you're going to have sales tax applied, or if there are limitations on your shipping information. If I click on the billing information page, we will see that there is some HTML code in here that will generate a bulleted list that says orders cannot be shipped to PO boxes, but we can ship to APO and FPO. Another bullet says please provide a street address where a signature can be obtained for receipt. And then all orders are subject to verification before shipment is made. Let's go back to our messages. And let's take a look at what the payment information page shows. This one has both a header and a footer. The header, again, has some HTML code in it, but if we look carefully in here, we can see that there is some kind of a credit card logo image, and there is a message that says Demo Jewelry accepts Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. In the footer message, we have the same thing we saw a moment ago. Orders cannot be shipped to PO Box, but we can ship to APO and FPO. Please provide a street address where a signature can be obtained for a receipt. All orders are subject to verification before shipment is made. And then a credit card number is required when you use a gift card. Any balance remaining after applying the gift card will be billed to the credit card. So these messages do not have to be the same on every screen. They can be customized for that particular screen. The only way to figure out what messages to show is actually to step through the shopping cart during your setup process and figure out what information is needed for those screens. We do populate it with some of this basic information to give you a starting idea of how this works. And then you do have a final ability to indicate any message on the checkout screen before they actually click the process button. In order to really get a full understanding of this during your setup of your e-commerce system, you would have to step through the entire purchase process many times from the consumer's point of view as well as from the website owner's point of view to see how all of these messages get triggered and the appropriate ways to use them. Please talk to your customer service rep for help on setting this up as well as a more in-depth discussion. Moving on now to the gift cards and promo codes. From this screen, you can set up gift cards or promotion codes that can be used to provide discounts to any purchase. The Junior system has one database which controls gift cards and promo codes. This table shows all of the gift cards or promo codes that we have currently set up in our demo. The column here that's shown as type shows whether it is a gift card or a promo code, and you can see most of them are set up as promo codes. We also can reuse a promo code or a gift card, or we can set it to be not reusable. Let's take a look at our first promo code. Clicking on number 1, there are a number of messages and directions here listed in gray, and we have the ability to either turn this on or off by setting it to either active or not and making it reusable. If something is set to reusable, then that promo code typically would be a code you are sending out in an email blast, or a code you are including in a direct mail piece, or some other kind of mailing where multiple people are going to see the same promo code. So setting it as reusable allows multiple people to use it. You select the type of promo code or gift card, the actual promo code, so in this case it is M87, the value, the original value, which of course the current value and the original value don't make sense unless you are referring to a gift card. You'll see that in a moment. The starting date and the ending date when this promo code is usable, the last time it was used, and the number of times it was used. I'm going to click Cancel and Return to go back to the previous screen. And I'm going to go down and take a look at this gift card listed down here. And this shows that the gift card number, which typically these are a lot longer, so the gift card number is much longer, it's active, it's reusable. The current value is $1,502. The original value was $2,000. It was used 3 times so far to make a purchase, and the last time it was used was January 30th of 2011. The gift card system as shown here does not have the ability to associate a specific gift card with a specific product. That feature is not available in Junior version 4. The last section of the merchant module is called Site Ads. Clicking on Site Ads icon up on the top, all of the previous screens I've shown you so far in the merchant module relate to e-commerce and purchasing of items. The Site Ads is actually a module that stands alone, but it best fits underneath merchant because Site Ads is part of the way you can make money through the Junior system. With Site Ads, you have the ability to use individual snap-ins and codes anywhere around your site so that you can show banner ads. There are some instructions that are shown here on the left side, and on the right side it shows you the different types of banner ads that are available. There are currently 25 within the system. If you'd like to see what the ads look like and their sizes, there is a link that says View Actual Size Ad Blocks. I'm going to click that now. It will bring me a new screen which shows me the actual types of ads. Now this is not zoomed in. I'm going to click to actually zoom it in, and we can see the actual sizes the way they would appear on the website. If you have a very active website with an active blog, or if you want to sell ad space in your product catalog, if you sell a number of different types of products, you can look at this screen to figure out what types of ad blocks you'd like to sell. There are links up here to see the current ads that are in the system or to create a new ad. If I click on View Current Ads, the screen goes blank because we currently don't have any ads in the system. I could create a new ad, and this is our Create New Ad screen, what allows me to go in and indicate the type of ad block that I'd like to choose and the picture that was previously uploaded into our Site Ads module. We can set the owner's email so they can receive a message at the end of the month to find out how many clicks and how many impressions they've had on their ad. We can also set the start date and the ending date of an ad so that the ads will automatically turn on or automatically turn off depending on what you've chosen. This allows you to sell ads for particular date ranges, and then they will go on and off without any names. You have the ability to indicate your ad text as well as the destination when the person clicks on the ad. That concludes the merchant module, and that concludes the orientation review for the Junior Content Management System, the Junior CMS version 4. Thank you for watching.